Wearable Healthcare Technology. Exercise B. Main Ideas. Page 154.
Hello, I'm Richard Sheldon.
And I'm Rita Walker. Welcome to Health Review, a podcast about the latest trends in health.
In this digital age, it seems that everyone wants to collect data about all sorts of human activity. This is also true in the field of healthcare. But I'm not talking about the data that a doctor gets from you during a hospital visit or regular checkup. Today, many people choose to wear devices that collect health data about them all through the day. This data is, of course, available to the person wearing the device. But the data is often sent to the company that made it, to doctors, and to insurance companies. By analyzing health data, health and insurance professionals can obtain useful insights into the relationship between habits and health.
The popularity of wearable healthcare technology is rising quickly. It's a market trend that shows that people want to know what's going on with their health. The global wearable medical device sector is expected to rise in value from $27.2 billion in 2022 to $196.6 billion in 2030. However, even in the United States, which is one of the biggest markets for wearable healthcare devices, only 19% of people report using one. So, as you can see, there's still a lot of room to grow.
Before we go any further, let me explain just what we mean by wearable healthcare technology. The most common devices are called fitness trackers. They're worn on the wrist and look like bracelets or watches. The data they collect includes how many steps you've taken, your blood pressure, heart rate, blood sugar level, or sleep patterns. Most can also tell you the number of calories you've burned or how long you've been sitting in one place. You can access any of this data with a smartphone app.
This growing source of health data is having significant effects on the healthcare industry. First, it's changing how doctors interact with their patients. Healthcare workers can now monitor patients after they leave the hospital continually, 24 hours a day. It no longer matters if they're in the hospital or at home. The data allows healthcare workers to make decisions more accurately and quickly.
Second, the health insurance industry can use the data to determine their customers' risk of illness. It's an approach that has its pros and cons. It helps health insurance companies run more efficiently since they have a better idea of how they will need to allocate money for different customers. Also, the data helps their customers to make better health choices. This gives them a better chance of avoiding health problems connected with nutritional issues. Thus, the data can save money for companies and their customers. However, the data from these devices isn't 100% reliable yet. For example, studies say they don't always measure blood sugar accurately. This is especially frustrating for people with diabetes, a disease causing large changes in blood sugar. One device they're working on aims to track people's fat, sugar, salt, and water consumption more accurately.
Third, many companies are looking at these wearable devices to improve workers' health. This, too, has its advantages and disadvantages. It's been shown that workers who get health support from their company are less likely to quit, but it's not so simple. Although it seems that giving fitness trackers to employees would be beneficial, it might also create anxiety. Some people tend to get nervous when they receive health data all day. It can affect their health decisions or sense of well-being when it shouldn't. For example, very sensitive people might see natural changes in blood sugar or heart rate as abnormal and a reason for concern. This fear might cause them to eat differently or even take medicines they don't need. What's more, it could also harm their mood and productivity at work.
Fourth, fitness trackers will let more individuals change their habits in positive ways. The trend began with simple devices that counted your steps or notified you when it was time to get up and walk. Today, fitness trackers monitor various aspects of activity and health. Some even warn you if you've been out in the sun too long. One particularly popular wearable device feature is the sleep tracker. It can tell you how long you slept so you get enough sleep. It can also tell you how well you slept based on how much you moved during the night. A sleep tracker also acts as an improved alarm clock. It can wake you up when you're sleeping lightly, making it easier to get out of bed. But while the data they provide is useful, doctors warn us to pay attention to how we feel, not just to trackers, as they can be misleading.
I think that's good advice. So, today we've introduced you to wearable healthcare technology and how the market is growing fast. We've also discussed various pros and cons of this technology for the healthcare industry. Finally, we want to stress that the data should be used with caution. After all, we're not machines, and we're not doctors either. On the one hand, wearable healthcare technology is great for fitness reminders and for the data it gives to companies and healthcare workers. On the other hand, it may give us a lot of information we're not qualified to assess or use. Remember, the human body is extremely complex. The limited data you get from a fitness tracker is never enough to make a serious medical decision alone. Here at Health Review, we recommend you use your own sense of well-being to assess your current health condition. Consult your doctor if you think you have an issue. Thanks for listening to this week's Health Review. We look forward to speaking to you again next week.